Hello everybody, my name is Mina, and I'm going to play Mozart Concerto No. 2 in D major, the first movement. Without cadenza, by the way.
start by telling you a secret. You know, I've played many Mozart concertos in my life.
Yeah.
Many, the first concerto, and the third concerto, and the fourth concerto, and the fifth concerto, and I've never played this piece. Nobody ever asked me to. So it's nice to hear it. It's very nice. And it's, you know, I think the one that gets played the least. So it's nice that you play it. Let's work a little bit. You know, I think Mozart, doesn't matter if it's violin music or orchestra music, it's always somehow related to opera, telling a story. And I think we can try to find the story with this. I think sometimes you can enjoy sometimes these different characters that show up for even just one measure or half of a measure. Right at the beginning, you know, we have this kind of announcement. It's like almost, you can think like a trumpet would say. And then now starts this little intrigue, some kind of story. What's going to happen? You know, so two questions, one question, second question, and then you have an answer. Then the orchestra plays that question. Da-da-da-da. And you just repeat it. So, you know, there's already some sort of story going on. So make sure that, you know, you're very clear what character you have in every single moment of this. You know, if it's, is it somebody who's proud and very sure of themselves? Is it somebody who's worried? Somebody who's, you know, sad? Because all of the music, you know, you can find these characters in it. And then our job is to make it sound like that on the violin. Okay, so let's start at the beginning, maybe just a couple bars before. Yeah, good. So, nice. Maybe, you know, if you come off the string more like this, it's a little bit more elegant, more of a, it's like, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen these, like the movie Amadeus or these paintings from that time. Everybody's always curtsy and they bow. Everything is very proper and polite, and there's a, yeah. And so this is, you know, the beginning of the story, and now here, now you get to have something to say. I would play this A there a little longer. This, it can be a little bit longer than you play right now. Just play directly from your entrance, the solo entrance. Yeah, lift. Yeah, good. Yeah. Try that. Good, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of trilly things, yeah. Okay, once again, and you know, yeah. Well, either one is possible, but I think, you know, not only important is how you play the note itself, but how you come off the note and play the rest, so to say, because it's a gesture. If I play, I mean, technically it's the right length, but it doesn't have any sort of charm or elegance. Or, you know, it's possible either up bow, down bow. It's all possible, but you have the gesture to support your character. Crazy leap. Down, you know, 3 octaves and then up 2. Just be careful that you don't sort of hit the bottom one with too much of a, you know, too much weight. You know, you just show that you don't have to hit it with too much there because then it's a little bit out of the sound of Mozart. Can you play da 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 dum from there? Just you go from here. So, in something like this, Mozart, in that time, they didn't write very many dynamics. If you look at music from the Romantic period or 20th century, every 3 notes has a different dynamic. They didn't really do much. It's sort of like, so something like this is a big deal, And then you have a crescendo. So it's a really quite dramatic. Forte, echo, and then you take off with a crescendo there.
Do you think we should do more forte or more channeling?
I think you should try to keep the forte till the very end and not give away that you're going to play a piano. Because usually what happens is and we telegraph to the audience that we're about to play an echo. So to your question, I would play more forte and less piano. Both in both directions. Make the contrast a little more than you think is appropriate here, because you lose a lot of that, even in the 5-10 feet to this first row to second row, and then you have to imagine you're going to go play over in Symphony Hall over there for 2,000 people. The people in the very back still need to understand what's going on. So especially as a soloist, you have to exaggerate all of your intentions, all of the dynamic intentions, the character, all of that stuff has to be more than you would think is right when you practice it. So can you do from 26? Okay. This is then you're singing, it's a very long singing line. Here, I think is almost a little bit folk music, not too cultivated, So I'd like to hear a little bit more of the bottom there. And I think if your wrist and hand is a little more relaxed, it'll help. If it's too tight, it's really hard to make those string crossings efficiently. So you see, this is quite flexible. Just play for me by yourself there.
Oh, sorry, I'd like to.
Yeah. Now just from there. Yeah. Can you? Yeah. The bow is going to be, our home base is going to be the A string. And then you're just going to rotate a little to the D, or to the E. And so if I get all the way down here to the E, it's a long way back. So.
I know that you're not doing.
Yeah, I'm not really doing that. It's more as a small motion there. That's the idea, but make sure you keep using enough bow. Yeah, good. So, now we have a variation. So with a crescendo that's more intense. So, he's always very precise. One of the things about, I think, the classical style about Mozart is like these characters are always from this point to this point, and then from this point to this point. It never sort of changes into something, which is something you would have in the Romantic period, whereas you have one motion and then it develops and you have a line, and so this is always very clear. This is this character here, it's a funny character, and this is this character here, they're singing about something very sad, and those things are always quite clearly marked this way. So, yeah. So, okay, let's do, can we do from the first time that comes? I'm gonna measure 31 in the middle. And try to create here a really long legato line, really connect things here. Different registers of the violin here. You have up high in the E string, then you play in the A string, then you play in the G. And you can think of these also as different characters, like an opera. One of them is a soprano, somebody else is an alto, and then you have the bass. So here, on the very pure, but you can let this, maybe with the vibrato, warm up a little more. This is a soprano. And now a little more meat, a little more full sound. Even more, that's a baritone or a bass. So you have different kinds of sound, personalities for those different things. So there's a conversation in between them in the same instrument. It's sort of the point of it. So, look for, think about what kind of color you want. Whether that means like almost no vibrato, or do you want it to have lots of vibrato so it's very, very warm and full? All those things are decisions you can make. Yeah, so let's down before the long E. And this one, it's okay in one bow. You have to really save bow there. So you still have room. I think, you at the end of it, you really want a crescendo. So. Yeah, good. Remember, this forte, and it stays the same thing as before. Then you have your drop off, one bar of all piano, then your crescendo, and then back again. So it's quite dramatic, these contrasts there. Before is very good. So let's do measure 46. Yeah. Actually, she shouldn't follow you. She was doing that at the moment, but these syncopations should just boom, but sort of like it bounces off. So be aware that you can adjust for it. Same place. don't lose sound on the long notes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, there you have to work extra hard. So a little more in the string, a little more vibrato, so it doesn't sound too pale.
Is it okay to do it on first position or could I do it here?
Either one is okay. You know, I mean, you decide which one you like better. I mean, I think you can get a good sound on either, so I wouldn't say you can't do it on a G string. This is always a question, you know, somebody, Mr. Wolfhorst, decided to put in his fingerings. Good, they're good for him. Maybe some of them are good for you, but that doesn't mean, you know, you're a different person, you have a different hand, you know, different violin. So there are always suggestions. And, you know, as you learn, you'll see, oh, actually, I you know, in this kind of case, I like to do this on a G string because my violin sounds better. That's a perfectly good reason. And so that's, you know, that's an aspect of interpretation that we can learn from somebody else's suggestions, but you can always say, actually, I like this version better on a G string. So that's the absolute.
So just to not lose the power.
Yeah, exactly, because you need to go all the way to here where the tutti comes in. You know, you have to kind of come up to the level where the whole orchestra will play. So just before we finish, let's do from here, from 46, the whole thing. So you get the chance, you know, to show you have these big contrasts. 46. Maybe keep the bow a little bit lighter, not too. If you get into the string, it tends to get a little bit behind, you know? If I keep it a little lighter on the string, I'm able to react quicker. So it's like you're by yourself, and then slowly the orchestra starts making crescendo, and you have to make crescendo so you're not lost there, and eventually it gets so much that then they can go on and play their forte there. And so you meet that level as well. So, you know, it's Mozart, it's quite early, Mozart, but still the contrasts can be quite dramatic, and then you tell a story with these different characters. Good. Thank you very much. Bravo.